Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're gonna do Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer issue number 1 by Opus or Opus Comics. Yeah, they brought him back. They brought back the Death Dealer. For those who do not know who or what the Death Dealer is, I'm not really going into because you can Google as your friend. But Death Dealer is a very very old character, and it's been Frank Frazetta made a painting, and they made a comic of his character, in I believe somewhere in the 90s. The story was not really that good. It's been, I believe, written by Glenn Danzig. So the people that reviewed this book praises this a lot. Well, of course, because you can only go you can only go up. But yeah, you if you check it out for yourself. But Death Dealer is a really really cool character, and I'm happy that I'm bought this book. But I have some problems with it, and that we're going to discuss. So first of all, of course, I bought this cover because Frank Frazetta. Frank Frazetta is the best. Just if you're not familiar with his art, well, you look at it. This is his thing. But he's passed away years ago. Anyway, it's been written and written by Mitch Iverson, and Stefano Martino, colors by Luis Antonio Delgado, etc. So we start here. So these are, I believe a husband and his wife trying to survive. And he says, getting hotter out there. And she says, try being stuck outside. And he complains about that. She's complaining. And then she smells something, the stench of death. And then out of nowhere, we going right in, guys. So yeah, there's this creature coming. And he says, she says that there's probably something evil spirits and such. And he says, well, magic and evil spirits and gods aren't real. And then this creature comes up and he says, where is the Death Dealer? And he immediately kills him. So it looks awesome. Not sure why he kills him. I mean, you asked the question, and how do you think he's supposed to answer when he's dead, right? So yeah, and then we go to the Death Dealer himself, and he finds, I don't know, a leaf, and then whatever is talking to him, you know what this means. He says, bad omen. Well, okay, spoiler, he is cursed, or his helmet is cursed. He cannot take it off because reasons. And that whatever is inside the helmet or is talking to him. So then he kills some deer, and he says, okay, I'm coming up with the first problems that I have with this book, so bear with me. Thank you for your life. Your essence will be fused with my soul. I will use the energy you give me with honor. Now, that sounds cool, right? Except there are some key parts here that doesn't add up. I mean, the word energy is not what you say in those time periods. I mean, that's a modern word. And there's a lot of, what I think modern-esque words in here that's been thrown around that makes me feel like this particular writer never read a Conan book or a Robert A. Howard book at all. It feels too, what's the one I'm looking for, normal, or too, well, it's not really modern, but it's not really, like they talk in those time periods. Okay, but I'm coming back to that a little bit because that's probably my main gripe of this whole book. So he hears a scream, and there's this woman. She's in peril. She's being attacked by wolves. And then the Death Dealer comes and he says, I got you. And then this woman says, hold them off. I cast a spell. The art again, looks really, really, really cool. The quality of the paper is really nice. Also, the cover feels really nice. It's not that thick, but it's certainly not really that thin. It just has the right amount of weight. The colors are very nice too. A little bit too bright for my taste. I wish it was more ominous, darker. But maybe later, not sure. But yeah, that's probably just a insignificant complaint for me because I like to complain about comic books. Anyway, she uses the magic and stuff is happening, and then well, he says, "Okay, my dinner," and well, because the wolves taking his deer because they run away of this woman and her powers. Anyway, so she says, "Storm's coming. Need to find shelter. You need to stay as far away from me as possible. We die out here. Then maybe you shouldn't have come. We lost, please." What kind of question is that? What kind of sentence is that? I mean, you just there, wandering around, killing deer. She is just being attacked by wolves, and you said to her, "Well, maybe you should have come here, and you need to go back where you came from." Stuff like that. I mean, what kind of answer? What kind of remark is that? It's just doesn't make any sense. And but then the helmet says, "Don't trust her." She just shut up. And she says, "What? Nothing. Fine. Somewhere safe tonight. Then you're gone." So she says, "My name is Admira, and this is Mesh, her kid." And she said, "This is where people usually say their name. Kerr, keep it down. There are more than just wolves on the prowl here." So he is open his, I call it his fortress of solitude. That's not it, but it's a cave. And he uses some kind of, some big stone and then makes a bridge. And she says, "Scared of someone? You could say that. No more questions." And he says, "He likes you." You can a little bit feel where the story is progressing when it comes to dialogue. I'm gonna go through this book and I'm gonna tell you what I think. Okay, let's do that. So we see his cave here. Looks great, and he has some She says it's so warm, and he says, "Well, there's red water flows below the mountain." Yeah, and then but then he also says, it seems that this caves is light up because of this stones, and then she says, "They get brighter and more beautiful the deeper you go." And then he says, "Ahem," exactly that word. Enough talking, he says. And then the baby is crying, and he says, "Will it keep doing that?" And he says he is hungry, and then puts out her boob so he can suck on the boob, for milk. And he puts out his finger, and the little kid grabs it immediately, and she says, "He likes you." Oh, yeah, of course. And but she noticed that he is wounded, and then suddenly he says, "You can stay as long as you need, if he stays quiet, that is." Wait a minute. You just told her a minute ago or a couple of pages ago that she can only stay for one day, and then she needs to get the hell out of here, and now you're inviting her to stay forever? What? Anyway, moving on again. "Let's see that arm," she says immediately. And he says, "It's fine. I did not ask. Shirt off." And without any, he just immediately does what she says, and he says, "Thanks." Then she kisses him, and then she takes off her clothes, and they have sex with each other. I mean, what? And she says about something about the helmet, and he says it stays on. She says, "Always, always." And then the voice in his helmet says, "Now she knows you're a freak." Oh man, this dialogue, man. And okay, well, I can show this. So they talk afterwards, and so you never truly take it off? She says, "I can't." "Why? It won't let me." "Well, I find it sexy, mysterious. He says it's cursed. And then she also noticed that his cave is full of traps, and that this trap is not for other people but for him, because he wants to kill himself, because he probably finds himself miserable. And she says, "You're planning on killing yourself down here. You're smart." Who are you? But the question is, what am I? Tell her. You can trust me. Monster. Death dealer. He says, we need food. So he says, stay here. I'm going hunting for food. I don't know. The more that I just reread it, the more, I don't know, it feels ridiculous. It's not really that ridiculous, but it makes me chuckle because, well, now I'm rereading the bad dialogue, in my opinion, again. And yeah. So he goes down and he hunting for food. So there's a crocodile here. But he also has let's say, a conversation or a discussion with the voice in his head. And the voice in his helmet mocking him about the fact that he likes her or vice versa. But he also says the word, okay, it doesn't matter, fuck you. That's what he's telling the helmet. I mean, again, the word fuck you is not really a word that you use in, I don't know, the Middle Ages or whatever this time period is. That's a modern slang. Come on. And so the action looks great, by the way. I mean, it's aside from the fact that I have big trouble with the dialogue, the action, the art looks freaking phenomenal. And he says, lost your axe. And then the crocodile's piling on him. And he says, ha ha ha, you're doomed. You need me, say it. So I'm not sure why this voice in it says laughing. I mean, if he's dead, you're screwed too, because you're probably on the bottom of the lake for, I don't know, millennia or forever. And he says, never. And you're going to get your wish. You're going to die where no one will ever find you. Well, that goes the same for you, Helmet. Admira and the baby, how will they fare without you? And he says, fine, say your name. We are Death Dealer. And then he rises up and kills all the crocodiles in a gruesome manner. Looks very cool, by the way. And then he goes back and Mara's gone, or Admira, doesn't matter. And he sees blood. And then I'm going to show you a lot, by the way. He says, did you do this? He asked the helmet. He says, don't you mean, did we do this? Answer the question. I kill us both right now. No, you're not, because you want to know what's going on. And he says, and the helmet says, say we. You son of. Fine. Did we do this? We did not. But the joy it brought me to have you believe that. Come on, what is this? 12-year-old dialogue? Jesus Christ. And he said the blood's not hers. Keep searching. And there's some kind of some note here or whatever it is, a paper with a sign on it. He said, it's a clue. There's only one person who can tell you where to look. The sorceress. So he goes outside looking for the sorceress. And the last page we're going to see is this, Death Riders or something. Again, looks amazing. Looks really good. This is issue 2. There's a cover, and we see a lot of. We have some blah blah in here, and then we see all this cover of issue number 1. Freaking awesome! My cover, Frank Frazetta, because I want to have all of the Frank Frazetta covers, if possible. This looks cool. This looks even better. Wow, man, looks freaking awesome. And no text, right? It's not Death Dealer. It's just pure art. I like that a lot. You can hang it on the wall. And I didn't know it, but there's also bands like Cradle of Filth, Evanescence, and Disturbed. They're making books about them. Funny. Anyway, so what do I do not like? Well, I told you most of it. It's, I don't know, it's just very, a dialogue that doesn't fit the Death Dealer. The voice in his head, the helmet, sounds like more like an entity that makes fun of the death dealer and make jokes about him and belittles him, instead of a dangerous, monstrous enigma, or whatever, a demon in his helmet that you have to be careful about that he's not taking over, because this helmet laughs a lot, while belittling him and talking to him in a very ridiculous way. Also, the fact that the death dealer is here in 2 pages, then immediately there's a woman here in peril. He saves her. That's cool. They need shelter. He says, "Go away. You don't need to be near me." And then he invites her over, and then has some cringy dialogue and have sex with her immediately, and then she's gone. Okay, it feels a little bit too rushed, and not only that, I feel also that. When I talk about in the Sumerian, right? The Sumerian that I reviewed the last. I talk about immersion. I talk about atmosphere. I talk about how these people actually feel like they are in I don't know, the Hyborian age or the age of Conan, in that world. The death dealer does not feel that way at all. It feels there's too much modern tidbits in here that doesn't belong here. And the way they talk, it feels too clean, if you know what I mean. Not like, by Crum and by the gods, I will rip off your spine and stuff like that. I don't know, just more like talking like a barbarian, or like a dangerous monster, instead of a very normal guy that's been belittled by a helmet. And he also feels insecure. How the way he responds to the woman and her baby, it's just, I don't know, it just feels off. That being said, art looks great, quality is great, pacing is a little bit off, don't like the dialogue. Overall, fine comic. So I also picked up issue number 2. So let's see what happens. By the way, before we close, I have to say, well, it's not really important, but before I go into my own video, I watched a couple of reviews, and I don't know, man, these people always talk about, yeah, it looks great. Oh, it's mature. Oh, it's blood and gore. Oh, great art. But no one talks about the story, the dialogue, the cringy dialogue, or the lack of normal dialogue that belongs in here, the pacing, nothing. They all talk, hey, it looks cool, and it's Frank Frazetta, and it's Death Dealer. It's the best one that I've read. Yeah, of course, because Glenn Danzig art writing is shit. Of course it's better than him. Okay. And there's a guy there has, I don't know, 1.5K subscribers, and he talks about 2.5 minutes about the book, and then he calls it a review. It's more like a summary. Okay, that's me more complaining about how people are, shilling these books, but not really going into the nitty gritty like I'm doing. But each their own, I guess. It just, I don't know, frustrates me that there's people are giving glowing reviews, but they don't talk about anything about except the art and the blood and gore in this case. Yeah, it's sad. But that's my opinion, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked the video, and see you next time. Bye-bye.